All right, so everyone's favorite topic, nutrition, food, etc. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to go a lot more in depth in your specific nutrition and food program because there are a lot out there and there is no one size fits all. Yes, there are general guidelines that we can commit to, such as eating whole foods, unrefined foods, fresh foods, more fruits and vegetables, proteins, etc., healthy fats. But sometimes what works for one person doesn't work for the other. So I want you to think about, and you may not know what it is yet, and that's why having a journal can be so effective, where you write down what you eat and then how you feel both physically and emotionally. Because there's something called SHMEC, which was created by a doctor of naturopathic medicine, Dr. Jay Teta. And what it stands for, it's another acronym, is sleep, hunger, mood, energy, and cravings. And all of those are controlled by our hormones physiologically. So if they're not in check, then there's something off with your program. So we're going to talk a lot more about sleep, etc. But usually if you're feeling moody or hungry or tired and you've been sleeping well, it's not from your sleep or anything else. It's usually from the nutrition, or we're not getting enough of something. Usually we're not eating enough, or we've cut carbs out drastically. That's what I see a lot of. However, you may be a protein fat type where you do not metabolize carbs well, and so you need to keep them very low, and you do really well burning fat for energy and sticking to a fat protein type of diet. And if that's you, more power to you. If you prefer to do any type of fad diet, I'm going to call them, where it's whether it's keto or intermittent fasting or something like that, where you stick to guidelines that maybe aren't as varied as the general population, that's fine and that works for you. In my experience, I found that those diets may not be sustainable for the long term. So more power to you if it is sustainable for you, or if you just want to use it for a period of time to lose weight quickly. However, we're going to really emphasize sustainability on this program. And so I want you to start thinking about what foods make you feel the most energized, the amount of food and quantity that makes you the most energized. Again, thinking in terms of restriction, we tend to restrict, and then overeat or binge to compensate for that. So we're trying to bring our body back to homeostasis, because that's where it just hums and loses weight most efficiently, loses fat, burns fat most efficiently. And again, we're going to talk about more hacks to get your body into this fat burning state. But for now, I want you to think about, get a relationship with your body and with food. So if you can, get a journal, a notebook. On the left side of the sheet, put down what you eat and how much. So you have to start kind of measuring your food, get an idea. How many ounces? Can you weigh your protein? Can you use some half cup measurement or cup measurement, some serving cups, to see how much food you're actually getting, so that you know, am I getting enough? Too much? It can be really helpful. And then on the right hand column, you're going to have a list of physical symptoms and then emotional symptoms, so you can see, is your SHMEC intact? Are you feeling well, or are you struggling a little bit and we need to change something? It's not all going to be food related, by the way, but food can form such a solid foundation for your biochemistry, for your nervous system, that it's one of the best ways to just get yourself to a really good, resilient feeling place. So we're going to use food as a base in this program. So I briefly touched on a fat protein type. You might be more of a carb type, where you do well with leaner cuts of meat and more carbohydrates in your diet. And you might be a mixed type, which is what I am, where you need a mix of protein, fats, carbohydrates throughout your day. So again, these are all theories. You may not fall into a category, you may not agree with it. The people who theorize with these types of diets say that the majority of people are the protein fat type, and then the carb type, and the smallest amount is the mixed type. I'm not sure how scientifically valid that is. Again, these are theories from various health individuals. But I do want to say that if you're struggling with addiction to anything, whether it's caffeine, sugar, Diet Coke, even exercise can be addictive, then I suggest, in terms of if it's a food that you're addicted to, or maybe you're just addicted to under eating and then overeating, the best thing is to get into an established rhythm of food habits. So there is something out there called intuitive eating, which I'm sure you've heard of, and I think it's a great thing. And eventually, if you do struggle with some type of addiction, getting to a place where you're intuitively eating is awesome, where you're just listening to your body and responding to what it needs. But I think it's very valuable and helpful in the beginning to have 3 meals a day where you're eating enough so you're not super hungry between meals. In some cases, you will need to snack if you're pregnant, lactating, exercising a lot. If you just have a really high metabolism, you're very movie like I am. We'll talk about fidgeting later because it's actually a really effective fat burner. But for now, I want you to just focus on if you don't have a food program that you're connected to and interested in, if you could focus on just doing 3 meals a day of protein, a little bit of enough protein for your body weight. It's usually about 25 to 30 grams. Enough carbohydrate to keep your energy up till the next meal, and then some type of vegetable. And of course, healthy fats, but usually they'll come with your protein source. If not, olives, olive oil, avocado. We can talk more about this in the future. But this is just to kind of get you started, get you thinking, get you going. Again, reach out to me with questions, post on the group, reply on the YouTube page, or contact me directly. And let's move on to the next module.